So, the wicked edge. What can be said about it? Well, first off, the fixes that were applied. So, these arms were relatively extremely loose in here, and it's the spec between the base of this rod and the width of this. It was off by probably 2 millimeters. It's creating such outrageous slop that the whole base of the blade, where you'd contact here, you'd contact down like this and it would tilt, and the stone would then tilt up, and so you'd get damage all along the base of your blade. You could not get the base of your blade sharp. And so the fix I applied there was I put high-grade flexible CA glue in here and let it harden, and then broke it loose, and so now that fits tightly. I didn't do that to the other one. You can see just how sloppy that is, and that wasn't as bad as the base of these arms. Did that to both of them, obviously, so I did that. The other fix I applied is when you're going fast, you tend to strike the blade a bit, and so if you mount that to a hard, heavy base, you're transferring all that impact to the blade edge. So what I did was I drilled the holes out for the bolts a little bit wider than they needed to be, and then set this thing up on bushings, rubber bushings, so now it can go like that. That doesn't change the angle, but it allows the impacts to be deadened as they come in against the blade, and so that was good. But problems. So this problem's been addressed, but so look at, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but look at how much slop there is between this. We're talking like 3 millimeters difference between the hole and the rod size. It's completely ridiculous. Why did this need to be made so intentionally sloppy? And all of the stones are like this. I see no reason why. Also, these things were incredibly sloppy. I mentioned this before. They released a pro kit which supposedly addressed it. I didn't buy one. I have friends who bought one. That's ridiculously sloppy as well. Apparently that was no better than the original arms. It just doesn't occasionally catch you up while you're doing this. This thing can catch if you sort of get an angle just right. Other complaints. So you can't clamp blades that don't have flats on them. Well, okay, so you can put tape on here and all that shit. Why wouldn't you just create a base in here that you'd have two clamps that clamp against, so you could bring both clamps up from opposing sides? That way you could get, like, it looks like they took the Lansky or Langsky, however you pronounce it, clamp concept, what that needs, that where you work it from only one side and then flip the knife over. They took that and then just stuck it on this base, and it doesn't work, because unless your blade is flat, you're not going to get a consistent angle between the two edges. And you either have to guess by moving this, or use their silly like foam tape solution, which only works on really lightweight blades. So why they did that, I'm not entirely sure. This support thing that comes out here, that's an accessory designed to hold long flexible blades, works really great on super thin kitchen knives and nothing else. And doesn't work particularly well on those either, I might add. The bolts were too short to do a lot of the knives I own. They say it goes up to a 1/4 inch. I say it goes up to a 1/4 inch if your knives are made of aerogel and won't actually weigh anything. So I actually put the lower bolt up here and then had to get my own even longer bolt down here, and obviously those have to be swapped out for the original configuration if I'm doing a really small blade at a high angle. But you know, it's just one thing after another with this device. You know, I get it, paying for, you know, you're paying for a made in America, American innovation price on this thing. I think it was $300 or so for this, and it's $700 for the Pro Kit, which, you know, you're getting something, maybe it was innovated by an American, but it's built to like worse than made in China piece of shit specs. I mean, everything is so sloppy on it, you can't actually get a consistent angle along here. And my other gripe is that because of the way this whole thing is designed, and you have to clamp at the base where there are verticals if you're going to go work the blade hard, or if you're going to be running a heavy blade, means that up at the tip where you want the most durability, the angle changes because the points always go like this. The angle changes, and so as a result, you get the point with the least durability. And then back here at the edge, where admittedly you destroy it anyway because the angle change, right? Because if with this slop here and here, you press the blade against there, and you first come down like this, and then you weight the stone, and so it changes angle slightly. You can see there how much it changes. And this change of angle, which is about I don't know, maybe 3 degrees or more. That is without this moving. That is just the slop of this handle on this rod that's ridiculously loose. And so because of that, you get maximum durability at the base of the edge in terms of edge angle, and then minimum durability at the point where you need it the most. So you've got the knife sharpened effectively backwards. And so that's another pet peeve I have with this device. If they just fixed the base such that you could clamp, both clamps coming in like this, you could clamp at the point and have the handle hanging off that way, and you could work it, and you could reverse that. You could have what you want here, which is the sharpest edge, and you can have what you want here, which is the most durable part. But you don't get that. So, is it worth it? Well, if you have no ability to freehand sharpen, or freehand strop, or what have you, I guess I would say you don't really have another option. The Lanxey isn't that much cheaper, and it is a lot slower to flip back and forth. And I will grant them that working the edges back and forth like this is really great at preventing yourself from forming a burr, and so your knives do get sharp, at least outside this initial bit here. Your knives do get relatively sharp relatively easily, so it is a skill opt-out, I'll say. It also is relatively quick at reprofiling blades if you don't have the skill or jigs necessary to do it on a belt grinder. Or water grinder, I guess. But I guess I'm not about to sell it because of what I've invested in it. You can see this here is just lapping film I've put on their straps. But you know, you look at these paddles and you say, well, I get to some extent why the paddles cost what they do, because they put nice things like monocrystalline diamond stones on them and such, which, you know, it's good. That's a good quality stone. But why you'd then put that quality stone on something that's 3 millimeters off from the rod it's supposed to ride on, so the thing rattles around and you can't get a consistent edge? I just don't understand it. I don't know why they did that, and I don't know why. I don't even know how you specify for tolerances to be machined so loose in this day and age. I mean, we're talking, your specs are worse than you could do on some, what, $200 used Harbor Freight mini mill. I just don't understand why this had to be designed to such low tolerances, and yet cost what it would cost to be made in America to really great specs. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if they claim these are made in the USA or not. Certainly looking at this, I wouldn't guess so. It looks like it was pretty slapdashed out. And so I guess if it performed as advertised, it would absolutely be worth a $300-400 price tag or something like that. I do think they should make some other accessories for it available. I may do that in the future, but they really need to get their shit together and get these things built properly, because this just does not fly. I mean, I've had this thing for years now. I've seen their improved gens and all that, and they just have completely failed to address the actual problems that exist in the system. And I'm a bit tired of it, frankly. And so I don't know. I guess what I would say is that I'm not sure I would condone buying a knockoff, because that's sort of a douchey thing, but I certainly would have a hard time imagining somebody making, like the Chinese, reverse engineering this and making a knockoff that's as sloppy as this. I mean, a knockoff would almost certainly be an upgrade in terms of precision and consistency. I can't imagine this being designed to lower tolerances. And it's frustrating. It's quite frankly very frustrating. So that's a vent that's a long time in coming for me. I was hoping I would have solved some more of these issues. I may yet redesign an arm for this. I have a number of ideas for how I could redesign this arm and mount it to it. But considering this is sort of the guts of the thing, I'm not hugely interested in designing just a new base for this and not designing basically a whole new machine. Similarly, I've considered building arms like this, maybe with ball joints that aren't as sloppy, or maybe just a pin system that's designed to plus or minus a few thousandths, which is what this should have been built to in the first place. But yeah, it's just, you know, some people have complained about this being left-handed here. I think that's not an issue. Being left-handed in that these are stored on the left-hand side. If anything, I think that's designed right, because you're holding the knife with your right hand, as you should be if you're righty, and then tightening with your left. But yes, so those are my gripes. And what can I say? Hopefully, hopefully Wicked Edge will get their act together and fix it, or hopefully some company will come along with an improved design where this isn't messed up the way, I mean, because that's really what it is. Wicked Edge took an existing system and added another side to it, so that they work simultaneously, and maybe somebody will come along and say, okay, if you're going to do that, you need to design this center clamp to accommodate that, and they will do that, which would be very nice. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Leave the comments down below. If you're a Wicked Edge fan and you're pissed off, feel free to vent. Or if you're a Wicked Edge victim, consumer, potato, and you'd like to see improvements made to use this platform so you don't have to toss your investment, let me know. Thanks.